My guest this morning has been a writer, an actor, a filmmaker, a content creator. He's published a book, Tales from Tomorrow, and on the 10th of August, he releases his first official rap single, FAÇADE. It's island energy on the surface, confidence lifestyle, a hook that says, "'Cause I can," and means it, but sit with it a little longer. And there's something else underneath. The cost of success, the performance of happiness, the gap between what people see and what's actually there. Adnaan Jugoo, welcome.
Hi, Meling. Thank you for having me back on the show.
It's great. We changed the name of the show since your last visit.
Yeah. And I like the studio, the setup. It's really impressive.
You feel great.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Amazing.
It's absolutely amazing as well to have you as guest this morning.
Thank you.
You've written, you've acted, you've directed, you've published a book. I said that in the introduction. Most people who move across that many mediums end up known for one and dabbing in the rest, but you seem to actually mean it in each one. So when you strip away the titles, writer, actor, filmmaker, author, what's the one thing that's actually been constant the whole time?
So I think for me, the consistency that I want everyone to be aware of is at the core of everything that I do, is whether it's acting, directing, or producing, making music, it is a storyteller. So I do approach making music as a storyteller. Okay. And obviously as a writer, I am a storyteller. And, having and being part of this many mediums is that the medium only changes, but the core storytelling stays.
It's the same.
I can tell a book in X amount of pages, but the story I can tell through music is something else entirely.
So what matters is the core message.
Absolutely.
The core message. You want to convey. You didn't need another medium. You just said it all. You already had several ways to tell a story and an audience that would follow you into any of them. So what was it about this particular story, this particular feeling that made you say this one isn't a script, it isn't a chapter, it isn't a scene, it has to be a song?
Yeah. That is a very interesting question. To be honest, I think why I wanted this to be a song instead of a book or a movie or a TV series or even a TikTok series, I think I did gravitate to music a lot. Okay. I mean, a huge fan of Drake and Eminem and some of the greats, and I've always music has been one of my first loves, obviously. So
and what does a music do that a writing don't?
Well, obviously, you can capture so many ideas in 1 minute, in 2 minutes, and 3 minutes that you can't do with a movie or a book or a TV series.
Or a film.
Exactly, yeah.
Tales from Tomorrow is a book.
Yes.
Right? A world you built on the page of a time with room to explain yourself. FAÇADE is 3.5 minutes with nowhere to hide. It's just you, your voice, and what we can hear. Are we meeting the same storyteller in both, just working in a smaller room, or is it something that you actually have to change to make this song? Was it like a particular thing that you had to change in order to make this particular song, or is it you in all of them?
No, it's actually two different people. The rapper and the writer is two different people. If you meet me on an average day, you wouldn't tell I'm a rapper. But that's interesting because, what is the perception of a rapper? What is the perception of a writer?
True.
Yeah. So I think, again, to answer your question, I think it's two different people. It's two completely different people. But then, it comes back to that full circle of, telling a story and just being creative with the art.
But is there a through line in theme, voice or world between the book and the song, though it's two different protagonists?
So I think the song and, again, the other mediums that I do, at the end of the day, I think because I do have more music coming up, and my soon-to-be released EP will be called Performer.
Okay.
And I do like the theatrics of
the performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Performer.
That's why you chose the title Performer.
Yeah.
Says it all.
Exactly. So if you look at some of the plays like Hamilton, for example, it's a very amazing musical, but that is poor performance. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what you like. You studied filmmaking.
Exactly.
You studied acting as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
We had the opportunity to talk about that in our previous show together.
Yeah.
You've also directed projects. You've carried roles as an actor. You've also had your name on a published book. I said that. All of that comes with its own exposure. It's different, but it's exposure, even though. But there's something particular about a song. It's just your voice, your name, no character to hide behind. Now that it's 5 days maybe from being out in the world, maybe more with everyone listening, does this actually feel different to you, or is that just something people say about music in general?
Well, you see, I think at the end of the day, I think I'm very privileged to do this, and I'm very grateful to be doing what I'm doing. Not a lot of people have the chance to do this. Not a lot of people have the chance to write a book, and so I just remind myself that, to stay humble, and to remind myself that, yeah, sure, it can be out, but at the end of the day, let's just stick to, of course, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also a business as well.
Of course.
And I look at it as a business standpoint, but I don't, let it get too surreal and over my head in a way. I try to ground myself at the end of the day.
So the hook repeats everything I do it because I can,
Yeah.
set against the title itself, Facade, and the line pretty faces, but the truth stays inside. So why call it Facade? Of everything, Adnaan, you could have called this song something about the island, the lifestyle, the confidence in that hook. You chose the word that literally means the front of something, the part built to be seen, hiding what's actually behind it. That's not a casual choice for a title. So walk me through why Facade was the word that had to sit on top of this whole song.
So for my first single and for my first foray into music, Facade had to be the song. It couldn't be any other thing. It had to be this. And I think, when we talk about filmmaking and we talk about television and we talk about writing books, a set is built out of a facade. It's you look at the back of a facade, there's nothing there. And as much as I'm going into this, I'm trying to tell people that, yes, the writer and the rapper is one image, but
Yes.
who I am is, I will not show. I will only show people what they need to see and not what they want to see, essentially.
And what does that word mean to you personally?
I think it is, at the end of the day, it's smoke and mirrors and it's entertainment. And I'm trying to show people that, hey, let's have a good time through my entertainment.
Sure, you talked about the lifestyle as Facade, but
Right.
there's also the song Splish as one.
Yeah.
That's a facet as well.
Exactly. And I also wanted to tell the story about a rapper who is at the top of his game. At the same time, he has everything, but he also has nothing. So essentially, when you hear the song is, very entertaining to listen to. You can dance to it, you can enjoy it. But then when you read the lyrics, it sadly has a bit, well, not sadly, it depends on the way you look at it, but I think it also speaks to my dark humor.
Exactly, and the words will surely resonate.
Yeah, it is a bit dark. The lyrics are very dark, but when people listen to it, I don't want it to feel dark. So it's a bit like coming back to that satire and that dark humor, and that I built my career on, basically.
The hook doesn't ask permission from anyone. Everything I do it because I can. On the surface, that reads as pure confidence, almost defiance, but songs that insist that hard on something usually have a reason to insist. Is that line swagger, or is it something closer to armor? A line you say to yourself when you need to believe it, actually believe it, and believe in yourself.
So I also want the line, I do it because I can, is, again, when people look at my career, I want people to be motivated. You know what? If I can do it, you can do it too. If I can write a book, you can write a book too. If I can make songs,
Yes.
you can do it too. If I can do TikTok and YouTube and hold a day job as well, you can also do it. It's really not that hard.
Everything's possible.
Everything is possible. And I think it's a testament to myself, and also it's a drive. And at the end of the day, yes, I can be a rapper and a writer, but I also want to strip it down to, hey, take motivation from what I'm doing. Because if I can do it too, you can do it too. And, if tomorrow I wake up and I decide to do something completely different, I will do it to, step
Because
one.
you can.
Yeah, because I can. Exactly. And I will do it, obviously, step 1, step 2, step 3, and I will make sure to do it properly.
You didn't forget Mauritius. The island is in the sound, reef and sen in the opening line.
Yeah.
A private beach, coconut juice poured into champagne glass. Mauritius isn't just a backdrop in this song. It's woven into almost every image. So is that a deliberate choice, a decision to make sure this song could only have come from here? Or is it just what naturally comes out of you when you write?
Yeah, so I think as much as I will champion Mauritius. Even in my book, I want to champion Mauritius. Like, I will just come back on my book, Tales from Camaro. It is a Mauritian story. If you look at America and the UK and Australia or New Zealand, America has, Marvel, okay, and DC and all of that. If you look at the UK, they have Harry Potter. If you look at New Zealand, they have Lord of the Rings. So like when you strip it down, you ask yourself, okay, in popular culture, what does Mauritius have?
Yes.
We sadly don't have that many things. So I will be the champion for Mauritius if I can, if it's possible to. And my, stories, as much as it's possible, I will try to champion Mauritius. And it's not that, it's really hard to do so, because you have to ask yourself, okay, why do the aliens go to the US and why do the aliens never come to Mauritius? Do you understand what I'm saying?
We should ask the Pentagon about it.
Exactly.
They're releasing new files.
Exactly.
More and more files
and
these days.
always the aliens go to the US or they always go to the UK, but they never magically come down to Mauritius. So I think my books, they find a way
to make Mauritius more visible on the world map.
Exactly.
Singing new files.
Exactly.
More and more files
and
these days.
always the aliens go to the US or they always go to the UK, but they never magically come down to Mauritius. So I think my books, they find a way
to make Mauritius more visible on the world map.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we already are visible, but it would be amazing, to have our own slice of pop culture,
Indeed, our own film industry, which we do have.
Exactly.
We have art. Actually, there's a piece that's been released on DW not long ago where the presenter was talking about the most unexpected art island in Mauritius. So we do have amazing things happening here in our beautiful country.
We do, but we also need a lot more.
Yeah,
more
we also exposure.
And I think also, at the end of the day, I'm also one guy, trying to promote his art. But hey, it would be amazing because try not to be selfish, but I'm also trying to think about the economy and ways we can bring more people to the island. Obviously,
contribute to the creative economy, the creative economic growth.
Exactly.
Write, shoot, act, then rap. That's your own line, and it reads like a job description for one person doing the work of 5. Strip away the bravado of the lyric for a second. How much of facade, honestly, Adnaan, did you build with your own hands, and where did you actually need to bring someone else in?
Right. So I also like teamwork and collaboration. So
teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh no, absolutely. And what I like about this medium, and even working for my day job and working for movies or television, is that it's a collaborative effort. You also try to make sure that there's not too many captains on the ship. That is where the ship sinks. But bringing people's ideas on board,
the right amount of people.
Yeah. So for the lyrics, I had help. For the lyrics, I did it myself at the same time, but I had a bit of help because the concept was mine. Producing the song was a gentleman called Rich Will. He's amazing. He's made amazing music.
Okay. And
we also shot the music video, which is going to be released after the official release. And that was directed by Alan Cartel. Talented.
He came on this show previously, yes.
And I looked at his visuals and I said, I want that guy to direct my music video. And you see what's interesting is I could have done it myself. I could have handled the whole thing. I could have produced it, directed it, got my own team to shoot it. But I said, no, let's delegate because, having that many hats on or jackets on, it burns you out and it gets exhausting.
Yeah, you wanted to focus on one specific aspect. On the performance,
exactly.
The song, and your voice, most importantly. If the bridge shifts tone sharply, what's a win if you moan every gain, get out the dirt, but you drag the pain, you command the lens, but can't frame peace. Now the mirror, don't blink, and the silence loads. The turn in the bridge, for instance, for most of this song, we're on a private beach. right? We have champagne, gold teeth, jet fuel dreams, a lens that stays clean, and then the bridge turns almost without warning. The souls take cold, now the mirror don't blink, and the
Horror.
silence lords. Yeah, it's horror,
Yeah.
but that's a completely different register from everything before it, from
Exactly.
what you've been proposing to your audience. Why let the mask slip there in the bridge and not earlier or later?
No, in fact, we do have something earlier. There's a line, I think, in one of the first verses. It's called "Fake smiles in the pics, but I still finesse."
Yes.
So, to paint the picture, fake smiles in the pics when I have a house full of amazing guests, or the rapper in question has a house full of amazing guests, and he goes to the Oscars or he goes to the Grammys and he's taking pictures on Instagram. Everyone is smiling in his pictures, but why are these people smiling?
That's cliche.
Yeah, it's very cliche. Why are these people smiling? Fake smiles in the pics, but I still finesse. So then it has to naturally segue, in my opinion, into the horror, and I'm a huge fan of horror as well.
So why place the honesty there?
No, but I think the honesty has been around. I just had to just dump it a bit more in the bridge, and I think it's as much as it talks to my inner self, I also wanted to talk to the listener. Obviously, if they do analyze the lyrics, I wanted to talk to the listener, and I also think it's very important for them to for self reflection, essentially. Yeah.
That's important. But of course, we can talk about lyrics analysis.
Yeah.
What does that structure say about how the main protagonist, meaning you see the truth sitting underneath the image?
Yeah. So, circling back to the facade, it's trying to play on the psychology of this character, and it's trying to play on the psychology of this person who is struggling with having everything but then having nothing. But then I think the core message which I'm trying to tell people which is not in the lyrics, is that stay humble and stay for the family and stay for your friends and stay for the people who who are definitely true to you, and do not search for the glitz and the glamour of what the song is selling on a byproduct, essentially.
Look for what's authentic.
Exactly.
Authenticity is the key to success.
Yeah. It's definitely,
and to find your true self.
Yeah,
as well.
It's definitely not in the lyrics. It's definitely not in but I think in the subtext of the song, it's like
That's what you
there's
want
more
to
meaning.
convey
Exactly.
as core message.
Exactly.
A subtle line. That line's actually, there's another line that stops me every time I read it back.
Okay.
The story was yours, now it's feeling sold. That's a real moment. We have a real moment there behind a line like that usually. When did you first notice your own story stop belonging only to you and start feeling like something being packaged, watched, consumed by other people?
So I didn't write this line for myself, because as much as I can, I want to keep my artwork for myself. But then you have to realize that, again, it's a collaborative process. I also go back to the fact that if I'm a writer and a rapper and whatever, am I an attention seeker? Maybe not. It depends on how people perceive you.
Yes.
But I also go back on the argument of that, okay, if you're an artist and you're a painter, okay, and you keep your artwork hidden from the world, people are not going to judge your artwork. But if you're going to paint, you're going to paint for people to see your artwork. So people are going to want to judge, and they're going to interpret it in specific ways. So I do like the idea of my work having a life of its own. It's for your interpretation, no explanation needed.
Multiple interpretations possible.
Exactly. And I think, so again, that line is not talking to my work, but I think it's also talking to other people's works. And it can be interpreted on the fact that, if you're a content creator, at some point, try not to be a sellout. Try also stay true to your content, but don't, chase. And it's hard because
don't chase success
exactly
for the sake of
it.
But
I think the hard thing that is there is that people are becoming content creators, obviously because we have to, survive and get a career out of it. But then once they reach that level, they end up losing what made their previous content amazing. So, it's very hard to stay true to it. And then, but then I know I know some content creators, when they reach a level of success, they have a team which ends up, they have a team and they have staff, and and now their work becomes a business, and it's just like, demographics and
exactly, because they work with multiple brands,
exactly,
and then that's like, of course, to get back to them, they have to respect the brand's editorial, for instance, the brand's line of work,
exactly,
identity.
Yeah, and then you end up you become a facade of your form.
You become a product.
Yeah, you become a caricature, and you also become a facade of your former self, in my opinion. And that is something that, as much as I'm trying to go through in my career, I'm trying not to do. It's I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but maybe in 5 years from now I can come back on your show and we'll see.
Never know. Only time will tell.
Exactly.
But you've spent your whole career on both sides of the camera.
Yeah.
We met actually at the MBC while you were filming my cinema show.
Exactly.
Directing what people see and being the thing people look at. So when you write a line like you command the lens but can't frame peace, right? That's coming from someone who genuinely knows what it means to control an image. So what it is then that all that control still can't get you.
Right. So again, it's coming back on the psychology aspect of it, and like, your inner, your inner workings of your mind and all that kind of stuff. So again, I think it's also talking to me being a cameraman and a filmmaker, but I think, again, can't frame peace. I'm still giving the subtext of, the person who's listening to it needs to find peace. The person who, I'm essentially what I'm trying to say is that this lifestyle, as much as it's glamorous and amazing, it's not everything. I also think you also are aware that, we have to be grounded in. And I think being behind the camera and being in the front of the camera, it kind of desensitizes you to the industry a lot. When everyone else on the outside looks at you, hey, dude, I'm just a guy with an interesting job.
And I love my job.
And I love my job, but that's as far as it goes. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm definitely not better than you. And, I've seen this line of work get to people's heads, and then, we all, obviously we deal with egos.
We're all human.
No, but we also deal with egos. And sometimes, people have egos, and it's just that, you just need to be able to separate that and who you are.
And focus on yourself.
Exactly.
And just try to show your real face to the world.
Exactly.
No facade.
Exactly. That's it.
There's a difference, I think, between actually being happy and doing a very convincing impression of it. And the frightening part is that from the outside, and sometimes even from the inside, they can look identical. In your own life, Adnaan, away from the song, can you always tell which one you're doing while you're doing it?
Yeah, so I mean, the lyric speaks for itself. I don't pretend, okay? But then it's like a huge juxtaposition, because facade is talking about pretending, and a facade is a definition of pretending, or it's showing something which is not there. But I put in my lyrics, I don't pretend, and I will pour, everything that I feel into my lyrics. So I think I do become a bit unfiltered sometimes, and I do have to filter some things that I have to.
So you don't always go through the process of selection of what you want to portray out to the world.
Exactly, and
you're just raw, unfiltered.
Yeah, exactly. But I do also have to, I think I have something in my brain, which is my own PR and marketing team in my brain. I have to also sometimes filter some of the words, but then also live on the idea that there's no such thing as bad publicity. I will die on that hill if I have to. Yeah.
Every artist who writes in the first person gets asked this, and every artist has a slightly different answer. When you say I in this particular song, the jet, the private beach, the cold teeth, the cold sword as well in the bridge, how much of that is actually Adnaan, and how much of it is a character built to carry the song?
So I think in percentage wise, I think it's 80% a character and
20% you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why this choice?
Because again, like it's for me, I put myself a challenge.
So which parts actually are lived and which are performed? So
the parts which are lived are, again, the storyteller and the the actor and the filmmaker behind it, but I think the rapper part is performed. You know, when I went on set to shoot my music video, just an interesting anecdote on that day.
Yeah.
Where as much, you know, as much as I said, you know, it's a team effort, you know, and I did mention to the guy who did my music video, Alan Cartel, I said, hey, listen, as much as I'm a cameraman and whatnot, I won't interfere in your work. You know,
You're going to respect.
Just direct it.
Yes.
I'm not going to shadow you or whatever. And I remember coming on the day, and I had a team of people. I had my entourage or whatever. I had my friends, and I had a friend doing behind the scenes work. So I had my own camera equipment that day. So we were also setting up my own camera equipment as the rapper himself. And I remember Alan Cartel, he came up to me and said, listen, you're the rapper today. You're the star of the show.
You're not the cameraman.
Exactly. And that's what he said to me. And then I had to,
to stick to your role.
And it's interesting because I was doing that subconsciously, you know, and I think it comes down to...
Because it's part of what you do every day.
Exactly.
It's your job.
It's exactly.
So, and unfortunately or fortunately, you know, you don't have a choice, and you come there and then you think, oh, okay, there are cameras around.
Yeah.
What do I do? All right, okay. But you know, because you've been behind the camera as well, and now in front of the camera, that's another role. Did you enjoy that very much?
No, I did. I also think the reason I kind of did that was because, you know, I like to be a bit in charge. But
are you a perfectionist? Would you say that?
I am a perfectionist. That's exactly why I said in my lines, I do it because I can. You know, when I wanted to make a song, you know, I didn't want to just make a song. I made sure to make a marketing campaign. I made sure to go through step 1, step 2, because, you know, if I'm not going to do it properly,
you won't do it at all.
Exactly.
This is a song with a purpose. We got that a few days from now or a few weeks. This song stops being something only you and a small circle have heard and becomes something anyone with a phone can judge, replay or ignore. That's a strange kind of waiting. Right now, this week, what's actually going on for you underneath the promotion and the countdown, excitement, a dread as well, both at once. How are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, so it's first of all, I'm feeling very exhausted by the whole thing. Both my book and the song. I'm enjoying the process, but I'm also at the same time
trusting the process.
I'm enjoying the process. I'm trusting the process, but then, like, you know what? Once this is all over, I'm going to take a bit of a break, and I'm going to get back to the drawing board and go back to the next song or the next book or the next mountain to climb, as they say. But, you know, for me, so obviously this week is my radio release, today, hopefully. And then...
It is.
Yeah.
Just after the show.
Exactly. Oh, no, that would be amazing. And then...
But the official release on YouTube is going to be on the 10th of August.
So it's a streaming release on the 10th of August. And I'm also in the middle of a campaign to promote it. And the campaign has been successful. We've got... one video got 45,000 views on TikTok.
Amazing.
So, you know... And I made sure, you know, to adapt all of the techniques I know to make my videos viral. So, you know, again, for me, it's like I look at everything like a business at the end of the day, and it's just...
But it is a business.
It is a business. It is a business. And people... And I feel... Not to brag or whatever, but you feel a bit more enlightened when you realize that it's a business, because you're able to step back and not see TikTok for TikTok or YouTube for YouTube, but you see, okay, it's a brand, you know, creator and an image creator,
but
essentially.
It's amazing just to get paid doing what you love most.
Oh, no, definitely. And, you know, for me...
Because you're passionate.
You know,
before the business aspect.
Yeah, I love what I do, you know. And, you know, even coming to work here, I don't feel it's work sometimes. You know, it's fun for me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You're enjoying the moment.
Exactly.
And enjoying the process, like you just mentioned.
Exactly.
Also, Adnaan, some artists cross into music once and go back to what they were doing before. It was a specific story that needed a specific medium, and now it's stalled. Others find the lane and don't live it. So which is this for you? Does FAÇADE open a door you're planning to walk through again? Or was this one particular story that simply needed to be a song, and now that it's said, it's said?
Yeah, that is interesting, because this crosses my mind almost like constantly every day. And we've seen, you know, some actors or some musicians go into acting and actors going into music. I think for me, as much as the ideas are here, I'm going to keep on making music, but I don't think I will make music forever.
Do you think you will keep every medium open?
To be honest with you, no. I don't think I will. I don't think. Yes, I actually don't want to burn it now, but I will admit it now that my medium, my over umbrella medium is filmmaking and writing. But I don't think, I want music to be like something which, if it runs out, it runs out. I'm not gonna force it, essentially. Yeah.
But you just like trial and error.
Exactly.
You want to give it a go.
I do have more music coming up. I have so many ideas for songs, by the way, so I'm blessed for that. But once the ideas run out, I'm not going to force it. And I'm just going to, ride the wave until it ends.
Feel the moment.
Exactly.
Carpe diem.
Yes.
Someone's going to hit play on this for the first time in a few weeks, maybe on the beach, maybe in the car, maybe half paying attention while they're getting ready to go out. They will hear the island energy, the confidence, that hook that doesn't apologize for anything. Some of them will also stop there. But what do you actually want them to walk away with, the surface or what's underneath it?
Yeah, so, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm also a big nerd, and a big geek. So, the writing is in the writing, and the text and the subtext and the plot is all in the writing. But the beat is entertainment. So the average listener, just listen to it and enjoy the song. But for the people who are like me, if you're gonna go and read the lyrics, just read the lyrics and enjoy the subtext as well.
Your final words today before ending this interview.
So my final words before ending this interview, I just want to say that, I'm grateful for everything that has happened so far. I'm grateful for the fact that I've been able to make a book, write a book. I've been able to make a piece of music. It's not been easy. It's been hard. It's been a long time coming. And, I'm just very grateful for everything and grateful to be on your show. And,
my pleasure. And
grateful to have a platform and grateful for the fact that people are watching my stuff, and I also realize that it can end tomorrow, and I'm just going to enjoy it as much as I can.
Like I said, carpe diem comes back again. Adnaan Jugoo, thank you. FAÇADE plays like island confidence on the surface, the jet, the private beach, the hook that won't apologize for itself, but sit with the bridge, and something else is there. The mirror that doesn't blink, the story that stopped belonging to him, the piece that fame never quite let him frame. Maybe that's the real title track, not the gold teeth and the champagne, but the gap between the two. FAÇADE streams officially today on RM1. Here we go.
Jet landing with the reef, Mr. Sand. Land to the mic, I don't need a plan. Write, shoot, act, and rap. Ask me why I move like that, no permission asked, never waiting to clap. Cause I cannot understand. Cause I cannot understand. Cause I cannot understand. Island drip in a shirt, no stress. Bikini serving drinks while I sign these checks. Sunset view, but the vibe's complex. Big smiles on the pics, but I still finesse. Gold teeth flash, I'm the face of the scene. Jet plane dreams and my lens stay clean. Private beach, yeah, I own the lease. But I party like I never had a bite to eat. Champagne life, but I see through the glass. All this fame, got a pretty high cost. Till I toast like I'm born for the pod. Wrote the whole script, now I'm playing it smart. Island to the stage as I carry the spark. Quiet when building, I shine in the dark. No shortcuts taken, I shop in my craft. When the lights hit the lens, that's the moment I snap. Oh, you baby, make way vibe tonight. Money long, but my heart hangs tight. Island lights and the moon so bright. Everything I do it cause I can. Facade. Pretty faces, but the truth stays inside. All lies on me when I step and land. As how I do it, I say cause I can. Got friends in the villa, got love in the street. Same old dream with a brand new beat. They toast to my name when the sun go down, but I still thank God just staying around. Coconut juice in a champagne glass. Fake smiles fade, but the real one lasts. Life too sweet when you move your own plan. No rush, no hate, I do it cause I can. What's a win if you more never gain? Got out the dirt, but you're dragging the pain. Surrounded by light, but the soul stays cold. The story was yours, now it's feeling sold. You command the lens, but can't frame peace. Scribble your rise, but the joy won't lease. Thought you came fast, but it's smoking codes. Now the mirror don't blink and the silence loads. the silence loads. Oh, you baby, make we vibe tonight. Money long, but my heart hangs tight. Island lights and the moon so bright. Everything I do it cause I can. Facade. Pretty face, but the truth stays inside. All lies on me when I step and land. As how I do it, I say cause I can. Oh, yeah, baby, make we vibe tonight. Money long, but my heart hangs tight. Island lights and the moon so bright. Everything I do it cause I can. Facade. Pretty face, but the truth stays inside. All lies on me when I step and land. As how I do it, I say cause I can. See the plane, that's mine. See the show, that's mine. I'm still the same boy from the grind and the sign. I shine in the sun. I shine in the sun, yeah. Cause I can. Cause I can. Cause I can.